Boys, good to see you. Everything about this movie has already been said, how moving and amazing and wonderful your performances are. But let me be another person to say that out loud.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, you must be well chuffed.
Yeah, chuffed is the word, I think.
Yeah. And relieved, I guess. There's like, when you make a film like this, it must be just like, you kind of think it will go well, it's well written, you've got one of the best directors in the world. So at the end of it, is there a sense of relief? Like, I think we made it.
Yeah, I think it's the thing of like, we weren't really kind of thinking about the end. Like the whole process of this was so present, and the film's so present tense in terms of we were just doing it day by day, and the story starts on the move and it ends on the move in a sense. And so that was kind of, yeah, it's just like it was just another day, and then it happened. And so it's now kind of amazing that, you know, the world's getting to see it.
Yeah. I have a renewed love of trees now as well.
Right.
They play a kind of totemic role throughout the movie. There's a conversation about them, and there's sort of, you know, without saying too much, there's trees.
Yeah.
Is that, am I on the wrong?
No, not at all. Like I think, yeah, it's about life. Like I always thought it's kind of, there's a circular nature to the film, and kind of, like cycles of life, and that's with trees.
Exactly.
You know? The seasons go around, leaves grow, they fall off, and comes back.
Probably the most only peaceful thing about, you know, the war as well. The nature is still there, and even though they chop down the trees, they still look beautiful.
Yeah, and like Sam said that actually in one of the Q&As we were doing yesterday. The first shot of the film, it begins in the spring, and it's kind of like nature trying to fight back against this sort of, I guess, what man's kind of destroyed.
Tell me about your chemistry test that you did. I've heard of it in a romantic sense, but never in terms of like, it's obviously to see, right, these two need to look like buddies or they get on. And what are they looking for? I'm fascinated. When I heard you say that at the premiere, I was...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the first time we met was at the chemistry read, and that was both our third audition and the last one. You know, we just started off chatting with Sam, just a general chit-chat, and we read a couple scenes, but I'm not sure what Sam was looking for. I think he was just... You know, Blake and Schofield are two completely different people. You know, they come from two different classes, two different backgrounds, two different accents. And I think me and Jules just sort of, we had a really good sort of interpretation instantly as soon as we read the first draft of the script of who these men were. And I think we must have just did it good enough.
Yeah,
I guess.
hopefully so. Yeah, we just kind of...
Yeah.
I remember he got us to read it. We'd prep this scene, and he went, do you mind reading another scene? You know, that thing of like, we were going, oh no, we've been practicing this for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Cheers, Sam.
Exactly.
Oh, come on. Right.
You're like, you've done it all, you've gone it over and over and over, and you've probably had it absolutely down.
Exactly.
That's those directors, they just find ways to test you, don't
keep
they,
you
all
on
the
your
time.
toes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How would either of you fare in this situation? Did you find yourself thinking, what would I be like if maybe not as an extreme scenario, but just generally? I mean, I'm such a massive coward. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the cajoles that was needed.
Thing is, I think it's one of them things, you know, you can never put your finger on what you do unless you're actually in that scenario. You know, it's like if this room set on fire, we'd all say, you know, I'd grab you, I'd save the camera, I'd grab this glass and I'd do this, but you never know until you're in that situation. And, you know, that's what the film kind of is about, is men being tested, you know, see how far they can actually go on their ultimate limits. But, I mean, I think I would react kind of differently to Blake, you know, just sort of, you know, he's cracking jokes every 2 minutes in the middle of a war zone, even though his brother's, you know, at risk, but he's still optimistic and he, you know, he believes that they're going to make it. And I think I'd be in tears the whole way, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, as Dean says, it's hard to say until you're there. But I think humans are pretty resilient, and so I think I'd probably not be too far off Schofield. I think just sort of quietly, just try and get on with it, I guess.
And before I go, the legend Roger Deakins.
Aye.
Man, can he shoot a film? You know,
Yeah.
The friend I took, he genuinely gasped at the shot where you go, and this is not a spoiler, you go over the mound and then down into a sort of flooded crater, and he moves along the water, and the guy was like, because he's an aspiring filmmaker, he was like, I don't know how he did that. He was like, if you ask, I was like, well, I'll ask Sam. But I mean, it's an amazing. There's certain shots like that where it takes your breath away.
Yeah, it was the most amazing team effort as well, because Sam and Sam's led us with this, and Roger too. It's been this kind of, those two at the forefront of this creation. But it's again, the best thing about Roger's work is most of the time you don't even notice it. It's just, you're just there with them. But that said, the amount of work that went in from all the crew, but especially the camera operators as well, like Charlie, Pete, Gary, Malcolm, Simon, all of those guys who were, you know, because at those ones, sometimes they're carrying the camera and attaching it to a crane in the middle and then unhooking it from a crane in the middle of a shot, you know, without anyone noticing. It's the work that all of those guys did was amazing.
It's like a ballet for tech ballet, isn't it?
Yeah. Sort of like hardware ballet. Yeah.
That's the best way of putting it.
Oh, wow! Go!
The stuff in the squat, hold on.